we have some Dungeons and Dragons update stuff. We're gonna start with D&D Beyond first because they have the 2024 core rulebooks, maps, and third-party content, and then for actual Dungeons and Dragons, they talk about the Vecna Eve of Ruin, everything you need to know. So we're gonna watch that. So yeah, let's get right into it.
Hello everyone, this is our dev update for D&D Beyond, and we're mainly focused on maps at the moment, but what has happened since the last time we did dev update? What are some updates?
Yes, we've been keeping super busy doing a lot of feature improvements. We've made some enhancements to our tokens. We made enhancements to how fog.
So draw feature, pointer feature, fog of war, spectator view, token updates, more maps, and third-party releases.
And how you interact with fog, working a lot on the system performance, as well as smaller kind of improvements you'll see just in the overall user experience, as well as giving some visibility to who's playing, who else is in that game session playing. And then our more exciting features is around draw, which I know is highly anticipated. And then, of course, we've brought out kind of a surprise feature, or at least a feature we've brought out a lot sooner, which is our spectator mode.
Our draw tool is our pretty big new feature for the beginning of the year. And essentially, it is a way to freehand draw on a map. When you select it, you will see that you can change your color, using the same color scheme that we used for our color rings. Once you select a color, your cursor will change, and you can click, drag, and start to freehand draw on a map. We also have a spectator view, which is extremely exciting because it is something that our community had been asking for. And while it had always been on our roadmap and we planned on doing it, hearing from our users and through our feedback loop has been essential to knowing how important this is. And basically what our spectator view is, we now have a way for dungeon masters to click a button, which will open the game in a separate tab as a player view, so that you can
nice.
share this with your players if you had like a monitor or a television screen behind you, or on a table flat, or if you wanted to broadcast and stream your monitor or window to a group of friends who you're connected with online. This now enables that. And of course, you can also just make sure your map as a DM is set up correctly and that you aren't revealing any secrets.
I feel like we couldn't start taking off the alpha tag or even considering maps as like kind of having basic features until at least we got draw. And I'm sure people out there are like, what took you so long to deliver draw? But like draw, we really have been focusing on making sure that what player sees and what the DM's doing is all happening as synchronously as possible. And so we think that we've come up with just a really great approach. We'll continue to improve upon it.
There's been additional content that is now there for DMs and players on D&D Beyond. That's happened recently.
We've added about 6 of our back catalog into maps, and so you'll see those. And then as we've been releasing new 3P content, that's also been there. So we'll have things including Layers of Aetheris, which brings 20 adventures with maps and 75 new monsters. We have Dungeons of Drakkenheim, which brings over 50 maps, and Humblewood campaign settings, which introduces great new player options, as well as 11 maps and 50 monsters to the game.
We've also done some pretty big improvements to fog. We have added an adjustable fog brush, so now you can change its shape from a circle also to a square, as well as its size, which follows in line with like token scaling, as well as following game vocabulary, right, from tiny all the way to gargantuan. We've also done some major improvements to token behavior that interacts with our fog of war, specifically for players. When a player moves their token into fog, it won't immediately disappear. Instead, it will still be visible to them until they deselect it, at which point then the token will fall under the fog, as it were. And then at that point, it is no longer accessible or can be moved by players. So all tokens under fog are now only movable by the DM once they're under there. We also added a pointer, which is a way for players and dungeon masters to get other people's attention and let them know that something is happening. The way it works is when you select our pointer, your cursor again will change to a little white dot with a red circular tail, as it were. And the moment you click and hold, it essentially turns it on as if it were like a laser pointer, right? So when you select the tool and you're moving it around, you're not actually showing
These are
the
some really
tool,
nice
so people
updates.
can't see you point to something. But when you click and hold or drag, it will either show a marker on the map, and as you move, the tail and the pointer will follow. Another piece of the token toolbar that we improved upon is the ability to rename a token. And this gives you the ability to change a token to anything you'd like, as well as
Fred
revert
the
back
Bahir,
to the
nice.
original name. So you don't have to remember exactly how a Balhanoth is spelled or a Bahir. You can just revert and it will go back to the correct name. We wanted to make it more clear who all was connected to a game as part of a game session, as well as have an easier way to get to people's character sheets if you had a question or you wanted to just help someone out real quick. So we've now added what we call our connected players menu, which is where you can see who all is connected to your game, and you can quickly access their character sheet by clicking on the character itself. If a player has
That's
multiple
cool.
characters
That's
in their
awesome.
game, you will see all of them, and you can quickly click and then get to see their character in another tab.
We've covered what we've done since the
That's
last dev
awesome.
update, but we've got a lot more happening.
I mean, that makes it
Yeah,
really
so
easy.
with the maps portion, we've been getting great response from DMs and players on maps and continue to get great feedback. I think with the release of these recent features, we're kind of at a state where we have some good basic functionality that allows both DMs and players to have a good play experience, and we feel great about that. And although we need to continue to improve on the overall performance and bring out more things, I'm excited to share that Maps is here to stay. And what that means is we will continue to bring out more features that will let the DMs prep for their games as well as facilitate play for their players. And we're going to continue to bring in more improvements. So
Cool.
every time
That's awesome.
folks go and use the tool, you're going to see more
They even
things
show a roadmap.
that
That's
are
awesome.
showing up, whether it's small improvements, new features, new functionality, what have you. As well as we're going to continue to add our back catalog. So we're hoping that the back catalog will be complete, before the end of this year.
Oh wow! Okay,
Wow.
that's huge.
Yeah.
I love maps, and the thing that was so fun for me. Well, the first time I launched maps, it was so easy to use and elegant. I tend to say simple, and I don't think that's the right word. It's just like you load maps and you get it instantly how it works.
Yeah.
You don't need a tutorial or anything else. It just makes sense. And I had this similar experience. We were playtesting for the new core rule books, and I was in a playtest playing a druid, and the DM loaded up the maps, and they had never loaded maps before.
Yeah.
One of the people on the studio team, and immediately same reaction was like, "Oh, this just works."
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, this is very good. This is so nice."
And that's what we're doing. We're intentionally keeping it to more simple or basic features, so anyone can just go in and just quickly bring up a game and play. You don't have to learn a lot of the complexities.
It removes barriers to entry.
It removes barriers to entry for sure.
It's been really nice. So we are going to see enhancements and support for the 2024 core rulebooks. I know this is very top of mind.
Yes, definitely. So we are hard at work at making sure that we can actualize all of those new rules into the character sheet for players to be able to utilize with the new player's handbook. And then specifically with maps, to support the Dungeon Master Guide, we'll be bringing in functionality to build encounters and facilitate tracking initiative. And then lastly, for Monster Manual, you'll be able to see all of those new monsters within maps.
What's been exciting for you for this year? Like, cause you just jumped in and things are moving. Like we're
Yeah.
We've got third-party content happening. We've got maps. We've got new features happening.
I think those have been the biggest milestones, right? Like we've got, the first time we brought out 3P content with Tal'Dorei and like being able to see that happen and work with the team. I mean, that was a collaborative effort across all of the teams. And so being able to launch that and bring that out was amazing. And then not only that, but like we kind of set the precedence of like, oh, we can actually do this and we can do this a lot easier than we thought. And we're able to bring out another, what we've done 4 books now.
Yeah, and to that point, like it did. I don't know it was completely real for players until Drakkenheim and Layers of Atheris happened, and they're like, oh, it's not a one-off.
Yes.
We're inviting many third parties to the party.
Yeah, which is bringing in all sorts of different content. Because you've got like
Third party to the
full
party.
of the like cute characters, and then you've got Layers of Theris, which is more like horror, right? So like we're also just hitting like more things that players will want, and it lets us do that. And so that was exciting. And then maps was exciting. I think finally giving players and DMs a place to play their games on DDB was, what was kind of missing. You get your content here, you can build the encounters here, you can use your character sheet here, but there wasn't like a here to be. And so that's what maps did. And so I think that was also really exciting.
And I just would like to appreciate and thank you all for the time and effort you've put into sending feedback and giving us ideas of what you like, what you want to see more of, and how the tool can improve and be better for you. It really helps us prioritize what's most valuable. And in this case, adjustable fog brush as well as the spectator view are clear examples of that. So I am just really excited for those, as well as draw and everything else, because of what it means for people playing on maps.
Nice. That's really cool. I'll definitely have to check those out. We'll get on with Vecna Eva Ruin in just a second.